Hey everyone, I'm Melanie from Streamline Legal, where we help law firms get the most out of their practice management software. Today we're talking about calendars. Now, I am a big fan of using multiple calendars. So I'm going to head over to Clio's screen here and we're going to talk about those. By default, Clio comes with a firm calendar that everyone can access, and then everyone's got their own calendar. And you can let other people access your individual calendar, or you can choose not to. I have other videos that talk about how you should use the calendar and what calendars you should use. So please do go look for those if you're interested. But what I want to highlight tonight is the idea that when we're using multiple calendars, there are some limitations. And I want to make sure that you're aware of those so you can plan accordingly. And so if we look over here at the Clio calendar, it's really easy to add another calendar. I simply come up to more and I go to add new calendar. And I can make as many calendars as I want. It is unlimited. There are unlimited calendars. You can make as many as you want. And you can share them with other people in your firm. So for example, in my demo here, I've got a deadline calendar where I've got a deadline. I've got a conference room calendar. I've got, those are the two additional calendars that I've put on here. And of course, I've got other members of my firm also have their calendars. And so the idea here is that if I want to use a deadline calendar or a conference room calendar, or some firms will do like practice area calendars that smaller groups share, that's fantastic. You can do that. But here's the limitation. If I go to make a new event, if I want to, let's see, this is going to be a deposition. And let's see, deposition of Dr. Smith. And we're going to put that, ooh, that's pretty late at night. So let's go ahead and put that deposition for the 10th. And that's going to be at 9:30 instead of 9:30 a.m. instead of 9:30 p.m. So if I do that, there we go. And let's say the location is the conference room. Then when I decide what calendar to put that on, I can go ahead and put that on the conference room calendar. But keep in mind that I cannot assign an appointment to multiple additional calendars. So for example, if I wanted this to be on the conference room calendar and the deadline calendar, I would not be able to do that. That is not, Clio's not capable of doing that. Now I can put it on the conference room calendar and then add myself as a guest. So I can add myself here and then whatever other attorneys are coming. So I can go ahead and add additional people, but if you have an additional calendar, you will not be able to put an appointment on multiple additional calendars. So if I have a conference room calendar and I just want to invite the people, that's great. But I won't be able to then put that on a deposition calendar because the deposition calendar is a multiple calendar and the conference room calendar is a multiple calendar. So that's the limitation that I want you to be aware of. Now, of course, if I put it on the conference room, I could always, anything can be added to the firm calendar pretty much, unless it's already on the firm calendar. So I can click this box to do that. I can invite myself or other people, but I just can't put it on the deadline calendar because that's another additional calendar. So please do keep that in mind when you are creating additional calendars. I know a lot of people want a conference room calendar, and that can be very helpful, but keep in mind that you cannot also put something on a deadline calendar, a deposition calendar, or a practice area calendar if you're going to use a conference room calendar like that. Now, the alternative, if you speak to Clio customer support, they will tell you that you can buy an additional license if you want to have a conference room calendar, which is true if you want to be able to add it to additional calendars in addition to the conference room. But if we're just talking about adding people to it, you don't need an additional Clio license. You can do that by creating your own calendar. So since we're talking about creating all these calendars, the other thing that we need to keep in mind is that when you do create a calendar, make sure that you know who owns that calendar. Because if you have a paralegal, let's say, or a legal assistant that creates an additional calendar and now the whole firm's using it, that's fantastic. But if they leave or their license gets, if they cancel their license for some reason and we go ahead and get a new one when the new person comes, then that calendar also gets lost with that person. So the calendar will still exist in the firm, but you won't be able to control it or delete it or do anything with it as an owner of a calendar if they've already left the firm. So that can be a big hassle. So please make sure if you are going to add additional calendars, make sure that the owner or whoever opened the Clio account is going to be the one to create those additional calendars. Otherwise, you may risk, as people leave or people change, losing control of those calendars. So please go take a look at your calendar, figure out what calendars will be helpful. I do, despite these limitations, think that it's a fantastic idea to create additional calendars. If you're still confused as to which calendars will interfere with each other or won't be able to be used together, please feel free to reach out. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you guys soon.